Beloved ones, we come to you within the now to remind you that Gaia is alive. Furthermore, we ask that you, the awakened humans, pass on that information in any way that you can. 2017 is the year in which humans will remember that they are not just their Earth bodies. In 2017, humans will begin to remember that Gaia is a living being. As humanity grows up and releases their old self-absorbed nature, they will know that Gaia is alive. Then, will they change their behavior? Many, if not most humans think that they are just visitors to Earth, because they do not realize that humanity and Earth are one. Therefore, they litter Gaia's planet, murder her plants and animals, and chop down her magnificent trees. Would you chop down a tree in your neighbor's yard? No, your illusion is that the tree is the neighbor's tree. However, you would be wrong in that assumption, as the tree is Gaia's tree. Would you throw your trash on the floor of your friend's house that you were visiting? Your illusion is that it is their house. Would you boss around their children or yell at their pets? No. You would be respectful for other humans' house and children. But how many humans are respectful for Gaia's planetary home and her multi-species children? If you are reading this article, we know that we do not need to remind you that Gaia is alive. However, we send this article out to those of you who will read it, so that you can send it on to others, who will send on to others, who may not know that Gaia is alive. In fact, Gaia is a living, intelligent, multidimensional being, just like the awakened humans. Do you see how much you have in common with Gaia? You breathe the same air, protect the same waters, enjoy the same mountains, and feel the warmth of the same deserts. Too many members of humanity have forgotten, or never thought to realize, that Gaia is a living being. To many humans, Gaia is a thing. Therefore, these misinformed ones feel no obligation to thank their hostess for allowing them to stay in Gaia's home. Deep inside, all humans know that Gaia is alive, but the power over others humans took the next step to have power over the planet. Do you see how power over others is a need for those who cannot find their power within? The power over people are all victims of others who have power over them. Most of these dark ones were not born that way. They were indoctrinated to be that way. However, as Gaia's frequency rises more and more into the fifth dimension, those that live via power over others will receive back the energy fields that they sent out. Of course, it has always been that energy out eventually returns to the sender. However, time often made the return of that which was sent out, return long after it was sent out. Therefore, the sender did not have a sense of responsibility for the energy fields that their actions created. Therefore, they did not have to take responsibility for what they had done. These adults were able to have power over others, and get away with it for longer than you would wish to know. However, that scenario is about to change. As Gaia becomes more and more fifth-dimensional, the time between what goes out and when it returns is becoming shorter and shorter. Eventually, all energy that is sent out will simultaneously be sent to the sender. Gaia's energy out equals energy back operating system is much like a computer. It has no fear of consequences for actions, and no ability to change its own operating systems. Long ago, the Dark Ones broke the code for energy out equals energy back by implanting war, deaths, starvation, and slaughter of land, animals, and humans, that the original operating system crashed. Because the guardians of Gaia were involved fighting wars, trying to stop wars, and taking bribes from the Dark Ones, they did not notice the great suffering that surrounded them. How did the guardians become so corrupted? The answer is money and fear, and more money and fear. When they, as well as most of humanity, had no money, which was a creation of the Dark Ones, they were afraid for themselves and for their families. Then, because their consciousness was locked in fear, they could not find a solution. Fear serves as a braking system for your consciousness. When you are afraid, your entire body goes on defense, and you forget about an effective offense. The warriors for Gaia have been finding effective offenses, but it often cost them their lives. We want you to know that even though their death is tragic, they have planted the seed of hope. As long as there is even a hope of changing their lives for the better, the warriors for Gaia found the courage to support their planet. Often, all they could do was to hide them from the Illuminati's dark troops, but at least the warriors survived to serve another day. Then, day after day, and many more days after days, they fought the fight for truth and justice against the Illuminati's lies and injustice. Gradually, something unique began to occur among the protectors of Gaia. They began to see a reality that the Dark Ones could not even imagine. At first it was one person at a time that saw the vision, as it became to be known. However, the first ones to perceive this new reality were concerned that they just saw an illusion, and others would laugh at them if they shared their visions. But eventually, a few people could not wait any longer and decided that they must share what they were seeing. Then it happened. When one person finally shared their experience, another person had the courage to share theirs, and then another person and yet another person. Gradually, many puzzle pieces of visions were grounded on Gaia's land. These puzzle pieces were only visible to the same people who had expanded their consciousness enough to see the first visions. Then, in order to make their vision very clear, they created pictures of what they saw in their hearts and minds. These people became the vision seekers, who began to spur a sudden search for a vision within others. Eventually, all the vision seekers got the message to create a picture, model, musical piece, poem, and/or story about their visions. To everyone's surprise, when they put their personal, physically manifested, visions into one huge collage of many expressions, everyone could see the composite picture. You see, before the puzzle pieces were put together, everyone thought they were all separate pictures, of separate visions. But, as all the different expressions were laid out into one expression, everyone realized that they were all seeing the same picture, but from their own separate perceptions. When the pictures were no longer separate, all the separate perceptions flowed into the one picture of their one vision. It was then they realized that the pictures were formed by wavering layers of light flowing over, under, around, and through the composite expression. It was then that they realized that this composite formed a message, a light message. Within that now the Archangels entered the vision seekers' high hearts, the Elohim surrounded their multidimensional minds, and the Ascended Masters filled their expanded voices with messages of love and light. One by one, they began to speak. Then, just as they had merged into unity consciousness to create the collective message, their voices merged into unity to create the light message that filled their individual, and united souls. Beloved ones, the message filled the air, the earth, as well as the vision seekers' thoughts and emotions. Your time of being trapped within the illusion of a dense form is coming to its conclusion. It is the now for the full recognition that you are beings of light. Because your inner light is expanding, the light can express your thoughts and emotions without the burden of a physical form. Furthermore, the light that continually moves through you carries messages that you know you must share. Just as you each had your own picture, that merged to create a collective picture, your own light messages are merging together to create a collective light language message. We remind you that you are messengers of light. You will each receive your personal light message, which you will merge with the other personal light messages. This process is not about should I? Or can I? This process is about recognizing the light language that is embedded in your daily 3D messages. Of course, at first, you must learn or remember how to recognize the light language that is quietly embedded in your daily life. You may not recognize it yet because you forgot how to speak light language during your many physical embodiments on 3D Earth. Many of you have been in active duty serving Mother Gaia. Hence, you have taken Earth vessels on many different timelines of Gaia's long service as a third-dimensional planet. Now, you are remembering your true, multidimensional self who is also wearing an Earth vessel. If you fully remember your multidimensional self, while still wearing your Earth vessel, you will move into, and through, your ascension process. We have been concerned for our friends and family who have volunteered to take an Earth vessel, but now the tide has turned. You are remembering that you are light. Thus, you see light, you hear light, and speak light. This light is not bound by time or space. In fact, it is the very multidimensional light that first assisted you to unite in the unity consciousness, which began your great adventure. The lowest frequency of this light is the fifth dimension. Hence, this light, and light language, resonates to the now of the One. It is the connection of the timeless now which merges the many dimensions and frequencies of your multidimensional self into the one of your now. It is this higher dimensional light that blends your multidimensional mind with your throat, and your high heart. Via this connection you will quickly, or slowly, depending on your choice, begin to remember how to speak and understand light language. It will take courage to remember the light language of your multidimensional self, as that memory will place you within a transmutation that is beyond anything that you have ever experienced in any of your incarnations on Gaia. One of the major problems that the ascending ones will face is their modesty. Their modesty will tell them, "You are so conceited. Who do you think you are?" Besides, if you act like your real self, people will think you are weird and not want to be around you. This is when you must pull your wounded past into your heart to be healed by the Archangels. You likely have a special Archangel that has always been with you, but you may not have dared to tell anyone, but people whispered about their guardian angel. Allow yourself to continue remembering that you are a multidimensional being who is not limited to a humanoid shape. You have likely had many different shapes, as well as Earth vessels that you have taken during your many incarnations on Gaia. You may also remember the form of your fifth dimensional self on your galactic starship, and/or on your home world. It is the now for all of you to remember the many other expressions of your multidimensional self. Then you can merge all your multidimensional expressions of self into one being, so that you can greatly enhance your power of unconditional love and transmutation. Please remember that transmutation is not the same as transformation. With transformation, new elements and elementals, thoughts, and emotions, are added to a seemingly third-dimensional experience in order to push your consciousness over the edge into the fifth dimensional now. When you transmute your vessel, you don't add anything. Instead, you use the violet fire of transmutation to blaze the violet fire into light, light, light. In this manner you actually expand the resonance, the vibrational frequency of your body to resonate to the frequency rate of the fifth dimension and beyond. Blessings to all our dear vision seekers, and please remember that what you seek is what you will find. Therefore, seek inside yourself to find yourself.